At the New Mexico Space Valley Coalition, we have a mission to rocket forward the commercial space industry in New Mexico. In addition to the city of Albuquerque and Central New Mexico Community College and its innovation arm, C&M Ingenuity, we have as members of our coalition the New Mexico Trade Alliance, the amazing New Space New Mexico, who's also on the call with us today, and the Spaceport Authority, which is home of the world's first commercial spaceport that was now operating. We find that right now there's a real national imperative in space that equates to an opportunity for New Mexico. What do we mean by that? Right now, we are in the first parts of a new space era. It's a commercial domain with the likes of Blue Halo and SpaceX leading the way. It's also a contested domain with the likes of China putting amazing amount of resources and energy to assert dominance in space. And finally, in our national discourse, it is a time for equity. We need, in our growth domains, to prioritize equity, diversity, and inclusion. And for New Mexico, this is an opportunity for our state, but it's also an opportunity for our country. In New Mexico, you have amazing aerospace heritage and new space alignment from local to state government, all pointing in the direction of new space. We have commercial and government collaborations already accelerating innovation from New Mexico. And we are a minority majority state with a track record of driving real results for underrepresented learners and workers, especially in STEM fields. And as you know, space is an increasingly technical domain. I have a quick question for you. How many satellites were in orbit in the year 2010? Just put a guess in your mind. About 1,000. How many satellites were in orbit in 2020? What's your guess? About 2,500. So it's 1,000 to 2,500, 150% growth. How many satellites do you think will be in orbit in 2030, just 8 years from today? The estimate is 30,000. 30,000. That's the inflection point we're talking about, and that's the opportunity we're talking about. Now, in New Mexico, our coalition truly is statewide. From the west at Navajo Technical University, and then north to south from Los Alamos National Labs all the way down to Las Cruces, where NMSU does amazing work in the workforce development for space, and everywhere in between. These are participants in our coalition, and they're aligned towards the common goal of making us the place for space. From a national perspective, what we find is that there's a little bit too much concentration, perhaps, on the coast and highly urban areas when it comes to investments in space. What we believe is that between LA at Space Command, Colorado Springs and Space Operations, and now with the Space Valley and the efforts of coalition members already, Albuquerque and New Mexico will be the heart for space innovation. The resources we bring to the table are many, and I'm not going to read these, but you can take a peek. The only thing that I will highlight here is that we have 113 partners of our coalition as part of our phase 2 grant and beyond that are weaving equity into every aspect of our projects. Now, what are we actually doing? We're doing 3 things. We're making a destination. We're growing a workforce with industry partners in the new space era, and we're connecting all those innovations to flexible capital. And I wanted to turn it over to Monica to speak very briefly about our capstone project, the New Mexico Space Valley Center.
Thank you, TJ. This component project is new construction of 93,000 square foot multi-use facility in the heart of downtown Albuquerque. In the city's innovation corridor, it's an opportunity zone and a metropolitan redevelopment area. The 3-story Space Valley Center will be the hub for collaboration, a growth environment for companies, and a home for talent development and workforce training. The center will also be the centerpiece for our new space economy, which is commercial focused, while being the place to leverage New Mexico's solid foundation of public-private opportunities. The facility will include a welcome and exhibit area that highlights New Mexico's space accomplishments and current work, co-working areas for startups and business incubation, areas to host interns and apprenticeships, workforce training classrooms and labs, and a specialized auditorium with conference rooms that can accommodate sensitive information, a cafe, and other gathering spaces to allow for shared interactions. The City of Albuquerque owns the property and will lead the project, is providing the match, and will oversee operations.
Thank you, Monica. And that's just part of our 6 projects, and we stand for questions. Thank you.